We are with Woodrow Wilson Duffin. Woody, where do you live?
Milton, 215 West Main,
Okay. And how long have you been a resident of Milton?
about 60 years.
Okay. What's your current age?
89.
89. And you are also the recipient of, you have been honored by the state of Indiana and the offices of the governor. What does that plaque that you have there say, Woody? It says State of Indiana, Office of the Governor, Mitch Daniels, a distinguished Hoosier. Excellent. When did you receive that, Woody?
Shortly after that date.
10th July 2009. You've also, from your hat, you've been in the Navy.
Navy.
You're a Pearl Harbor survivor, I understand.
I am.
And I'm also given to understand that you are a recipient of the Bronze Star.
Got the Bronze Star, Purple Heart.
Very good.
17 battle stars.
Well, thank you for your service. Well, Woody, we are interviewing you here today for the purpose of establishing a narrative from your perspective of what occurred on August 14th, 2009 in Richmond, Indiana with you and your son, Matthew Duffin. And can you tell us what was happening that day and where you were headed?
Well, we were going to Reed Hospital to see his daughter, my
Mhm.
granddaughter, and stopped at the shopping center there north of Reed.
Would that be Myers?
Myers,
Okay.
yeah. And I told him that if he would, I'd appreciate it if he'd get me some water because I didn't have any. I usually carry some under my seat
Mm-hmm.
because I am a diabetic and been there for over 30 years. And it was I didn't eat too many things, I guess. They was acting up. I didn't tell him because he's got enough trouble without mine.
And when you say him, you're talking about Matthew Duffin, Matt Duffin,
My son,
your son. Okay.
Matt, and diabetes was hit me in the eyes. I've had that before.
Mm-hmm.
And what you end up with is two black spots right in the center of each eye. You can't see, there's nothing in that hole.
Okay.
You can see peripherally.
Okay.
And they told me, and both the local doctor and the doctors at Dayton Medical Center, that when that happens, the next thing I want to know what would come next. And they said you could go into a diabetic coma.
All right.
So I knew that I probably ought to be on the road.
Okay.
And so when he came back, I asked him, he forgot my water.
Now, Matt has some brain injuries, does he not?
Yes, he's been hurt bad.
Okay.
And he had try not to bother him too much. That's my instructions.
Okay.
And you lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
Uh,
You said you were last at the Meijer and he'd forgotten your water.
I asked him if thought he could drive ahead down to Reed. It's only a couple of blocks.
Okay.
He said he thought he could, but he wasn't for sure. He'd been long since he drove.
Okay.
Anyhow, I told him I can see and help you some. And we got on 27 going south, and it was closed down to 2 lanes. There's no traffic on the west lanes, it's the east lanes. So we got down to Industries Road to make a left to go into Reed, and there was a couple cars ahead of us that did a right, so that left us clear, and I told him to pull on up. It's a wide intersection. So he got up as far as probably ought to be. When I say when that traffic quits, then you go on, which he did. Got down to the entrance to Reed and went up as far as the bridge, and he stopped. He says, there's an ambulance behind us. I thought, well, good. Come to find out, it wasn't an ambulance, it was a county deputy sheriff. His red light's on. So Matt got out to go back to wave him on up. And when he didn't come, I think he finally realized that it wasn't an ambulance, it was a police cruiser. And the guy come finally walking up, hollered, "Get back in the car." I could hear that from the passenger side. And I heard Matt tell him that he was a brain injury patient. Of course, I knew all this. And he still insisted he get back in the car. Well, he had been trained to get into the passenger side, but he had never been trained to get into the driver's side. So he's having a little trouble with it. That's when the scuffle took off. Now, he took his right arm and bent it up behind his back.
Now,
And
you say scuffle. The officer was at the car at this point?
yes, and he grabbed him by the arm, the bad arm. He couldn't get behind him.
Is that his right or left arm?
Right arm.
Okay.
And shoved it all the way up.
Okay.
Of course, I know my feet's not going to hold me up. They go with you when your sugar's getting out of whack.
Okay.
But I knew I had to get out there to help him the best I could. The officer got him down. He kneed him 2 or 3 times with his big old knee. And he beat his head down in the pavement 2 or 3 times. And I'm thinking, oh shit, now this won't work. He can't handle a brain injury. The neurologist at Methodist told me a blow to the head could be fatal. And I'm up talking on his shoulder, patting him. I said, "This guy is very sick. He's had a brain injury." He told me to get back to the curb. Well, I moved back a little. Then I told him again, this man has had a brain injury. He's hurting. He's a sick man. He told me to get back to the curb again. I think that's when he shoved me in the stomach. My stomach wasn't doing too good.
Now, were you knocked down or just shoved?
I think down.
Down.
I don't remember now.
Mm-hmm.
It was, it doesn't matter. My important part I was trying to do was assist Matt. It doesn't matter about me. I'll get over it.
Well, what we're trying to do is to establish a narrative of what happened that day,
That was in my head. That's what I was trying to do.
just to help your son.
Yes. By foremost, that's the most thing I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been through a lot of crap in my life. They gave me a Purple Heart at Pearl. I spent 4 days over in the hospital, or 5. And then they gave me a battle star for that. And I went on to get 16 more of them. No more Purple Hearts. But I did get a Bronze Star for doing my job. But of all the trauma I'd been through, this was the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life.
So compared to Pearl Harbor and World War II,
Yeah, this is the worst thing that I ever was confronted with in my life.
personally.
Yes.
Wow. After having been shoved or knocked down, what did you then do?
Well, there was some other police officers came in. There was a young Richmond City police lady, and she came up to me and was talking. I asked her a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he doing that to my son?
And her response?
She said he is being arrested for a traffic violation. I said, he's lying about that. She said, oops, oops, oops. He's a police officer. I said, okay, he's mistaken about it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no violation of any traffic rules at all. That was clear to me. They finally got him in the cruiser, and by